like a waving arm. It needs an elbow joint.
Yeah. Look, let's quickly go through it. So, $1 Million Man for me. I don't know. You could
Finally, though, he would have $1 Million Man in wrestle gear. He's not going to wrestle in that bloody suit, and they did 2 suits.
I get that, but they could have done someone else. Someone like mate, if they're going to do the Steiner brothers, they could have replaced. We've already got a Hacksaw.
Beverly Brothers. Tell me, Beverly Brothers.
We could have had a Beverly Brothers that replaced $1 Million Man and Hacksaw. But let's not go there. Or a Powers of Pain.
Powers of Pain, but Powers of Pain were probably gone by now. It would be
not Powers of Pain. Power and Glory, I meant to say.
Power and Glory would have been cool. Or Natural Disasters would have been cool.
Yeah. Yeah, or even just was it needed earthquake in a natural disaster outfit. But $1 Million Man pass for me. Hacksaw, best of the bad bunch. Rick and Scott. Rick Steiner was probably up there with my Hacksaw. Scott Steiner was pretty average. Tatanka, repeat. Can't see the point of that. And Doink, to me, it's an ugly figure. No offense.
Am I the only one? You're an ugly figure. Am I the only one that found it very difficult to put together Scott Steiner in WWF and Scott Steiner in WCW? They look completely different. Well, I know it's the same guy, but he just roided up so much between. He went from being like a big, like fit wrestler to being this genetic
bodybuilder.
freak. Yeah, it was huge.
Yeah, that's when I like Scott Steiner, the badass in the late '90s WCW days. I really got into him then. Him and Goldberg. That's mate, they were crowd pleasers, that's for sure.
We're getting a few comments in back on the last segment. So Luke Young, not a fan of the Fun Schools, says that they're garbage. Michael Addison saying that He-Man will be the next line of collectibles. I think we missed that one. I think He-Man's already sailed, but it is becoming popular again.
Yeah, it is.
Street Sharks getting a resurgent, and Biker Mice from Mars. I don't know much about either of those, but I'll Google them.
They're big in America. They're bigger in America.
The hit shows on Agros and Cheese TV. Well, though, like I loved Agro. How good was that as a show?
Yeah.
And then somebody's put Voltron and Inspector Gadget. Gadget. I looked at buying an Inspector Gadget for my brother because he loved Inspector Gadget as a kid for his 40th birthday 2 years ago. So the original toy in its box that he had as a kid was about $400 US. And I thought, wow, it's a really cool toy though. It comes with all the bits and pieces, all the gadget arms. So the other one that I reckon
what was the co-host name with Agro? Little blonde-headed girl.
Miss Stacy. Was that Ranger Stacy?
That was Ranger Stacy.
I think he had a couple of co-hosts, and I don't think he was always the best with them.
The one from the mid to late 80s. I can see her. I could see her.
For some reason, I'm thinking Jane, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, and
I'll Google. You keep talking amongst yourselves, and I'll Google it right now.
I remember Agro was a bit of a deviant too. He used to the guy on the desk used to do a few things that would make Anne-Marie. That's it.
Anne-Marie Bigger. The beard of knowledge has come through with the goods. Anne-Marie Bigger, and then apparently it was replaced by Teresa Livingston and Holly Brisley. So there you go. And
Anne-Marie, that's the one.
Anne-Marie was the one I remember too. So
good time.
Good one, beard of knowledge, Steve.
All right, that wraps up Fig preview and review. Let's hear another word from our major sponsors.
Coming towards the ring,
Mattel, Jax, Hasbro, LJN, Remco, Super 7. Are you looking for a store that stacks all the latest and greatest wrestling figures? Then look no further, because Go Figure Collectibles has everything you're looking for. Jeff and the team at Go Figure Collectibles are always filling the shelves with the latest releases and buying up old cherished collections to fulfill any vintage collection needs. Visit them online at gofigurecollectibles.com.au, or if you're in the Melbourne area, go check out their store at 104 Bakers Road, Coburg, North Victoria, and introduce yourself to Jeff and the team. Plus, Wrestling with Figure podcast listeners can use the code FDU5 to save 5% off your next purchase store-wide. That's Go Figure Collectibles.
You know what I wanted to mention at the top of the show? Did you realize that Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp had a outage this morning?
Well, I didn't, mate, because my kids weren't here, so I slept in this morning, and it's the first time in about 6 months that my kids have been somewhere else for the night.
Nice,
and,
nice.
I woke up at 7:50, which is 10:50 your time, and it was all over by then.
Oh, what, mate? Yeah. So yeah, I thought it was closer to lunchtime, to be honest. But yeah, it must have been a big stuff up because not many tech companies are out for that long. And Facebook own WhatsApp. I didn't know they owned WhatsApp, but they own WhatsApp and Instagram. And so all of them
They
are
own
out.
everything, mate. They own your thoughts. Do you know? No spoilers here. Okay, so I'm going to say something, and then I don't want to have any comments or spoilers because I'll get angry. I've been watching the Squid Game. You been watching Squid Game?
No, I've heard about it. Is it good?
I'm enjoying it. Only about 3 or 4 episodes in, and the premise of the show is pretty cool, but it's very graphic and gory. So if you don't like that sort of stuff, you might struggle with it.
Right.
Anyway, I have no idea what the point of my story is. It's just lost. What were we talking about?
Facebook taking over, owning your thoughts.
Oh, yes. This is my point. So my wife and I were talking about Squid Game in the car today. We're driving to the shops. I said, Squid Game this, Squid Game that. Anyway, what do you reckon starts happening on my Facebook? Start getting those sponsored posts. Squid Game fans. Are you a Squid Game fan? Buy this merch. Are you this? Buy this.
The algorithms, mate.
Have you read this article? Frick, they're listening in, mate. Right now, they're listening to what I'm saying. You better not bag Zuckerberg like you did Australia Post, or you'll get just deleted off the planet.
Or Mattel. Oh, Mattel. No, that's it is. It's crazy. I know. I could talk about camper trailers or 4-wheel drives, and all of a sudden, I'm getting bombarded camping advert. Anyway, what a world we live in, Chris. What a world we live in.
Yeah, Louis
All right, what are we up
to,
mate? What are we up to?
So, meet
and greet.
You never believe who I met at the shops. Who was it? I met someone at the airport. What, are you a stalker? No, I was there to pick up my mum. Yeah, right. Who'd you meet? Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Ultimate Warrior, Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan. Did you meet CM Punk? You met the big red machine Kane, didn't you? Did you meet Mankind? Oh my God, you met Marty Jannetty. I bumped into Paul Heyman.
Yeah, once again, we've got some crackers for you guys tonight, or this morning, or this evening, or wherever you're listening to this podcast. But for those that are watching tonight, here we go. So we have got Lucas Manita. He has met the band Slayer. You're the fan of the band Slayer, Chris?
Bit too heavy for my liking.
So he's met the lead singer here, Tom Araya. Tom hasn't changed. Tom hasn't changed in about 30 years.
Do you know what I like about this photo? It's more than the fact that it's a great photo, Lucas, looking happy, and great photo because they're both looking at the camera, which sometimes you lose that with the celebs. Love the Fat Records jumper or whatever it is there. You got Lucas. Used to be a big punk fan as a kid, punk music.
Is that why your email is punkyou?
Hey, don't give my email out on the podcast, mate. I'll get all these bloody spams.
All right, next up we have David Reck, and he has met the late. This is sad. It saddens me to say this. He's met the late great Legion of Doom.
Love the fact with this photo is that it's a Polaroid and he's taken it back to get him signed, or he's given it to him to sign. Yeah, really cool.
That's awesome. Isn't it sad that they're no longer with us? You know, I guess we got used to Hawk not being around, but Animal's just, I don't know, he was just everywhere, and then he just died so suddenly. Was it this year or last year that he died?
It was just over a year ago. It happened.
That's right.
Because I had the live meet and greet with him about 3 weeks before he died.
Yeah. So wow.
Lovely guy. I've still got here. I've got 2 things that are signed by him, and you just look at it and you think, shit. It was only a year ago. He was just holding this, writing his name on it, and then 3 weeks later, no more Animal.
What did he die of? Have they said?
Heart attack. He had heart problems.
Sad. R.I.P. And last on the list, we've got Brendan West, and he has met. This is for the Aussie V8 Supercar fans. He has met the legend Alan Moffat. Big
Was the
name,
one.
big name in the V8 supercar industry, or the supercar industry, I should say.
Yes, very cool.
So well done, guys. Thanks so much for sending that in. And up next, we have, we're going to answering the hard-hitting questions. Chris, are you ready for this?
It's question time. It's question time. It's time to ask the boys a question. What's on your mind? Let us know and we will tell you the answer.
All right, here we go, mate. We've got 6 questions to get through tonight, and the first 2 are long ones. So let's see how we go. Okay, first up, we've got Michael P. Addison. With Owen Hart becoming all elite and getting a figure in the near future, which out-of-work/deceased wrestler would you like to see given the Jazzwares figure treatment, or even Mattel? For me, I'd probably like to see the Von Erichs, or someone like Gorgeous George, Ric Flair without the helicopter. That's a good question. Really good question. Who would I like to see? Deceased or retired? Does anyone come to your mind straight away, Chris?
Retired, I want to see Demolition. But I know that they probably won't get the Jazzwares treatment because they'd be under legend contract with WWE. But I just feel like we don't have decent... there's the Legends Demolition, but we don't have enough Demolition figures. They're so expensive. We want to get a re-release so we can fill up our collections. I don't have the Demolition figures because it's just too expensive.
One that just popped into my head, I'd love to see a Coco Beware.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
The
other one, the other one I'd love to see, Bad News Brown.
Yeah.
Bad News Brown.
Classic Superstars is a good one.
What's that, mate?
The Jack's Classic Superstars was a good version of.
It was. I think it's the only version of him. I haven't seen many others, but Bad News would be great.
Who else? Obviously, it's inspired from Owen Hart, I guess. The Von Erichs would be great. Oh, God, I'm sure. You know what? The episode will finish and all these names will start coming back to me.
Dino Bravo would be good in an elite style.
Dino Bravo, 100%. Dino Bravo. Look, we've said it many times. All the managers, Slick the elite. Slick elite figure would look amazing. Who else? All right, we'll come back to that question because that's a really good question. All right, next up we've got Sean Buchanan. Sean's a happy moment. He's a Penrith Panthers fan, so congratulations, Sean. I hope you're still celebrating. With the talk from MLW boss about their soon-to-be announced figure line, who would you like to see in the lineup? You'd like to think 5 wrestlers per series would be the par. I think you would want Joseph Fatu, LA Park, the Von Erichs, and Myron Reed as your first line. What do you reckon?
Don't know if I know, mate. I don't know much about this line at all.
Neither do I. MLW. Don't know. That's a tough one, Sean. We might have to research that one and come back to you. Sean Buchanan again. Do you think AEW would be better going with Hasbro/retro style figures or Galoob style?
Definitely not Galoob style.
No, definitely not.
Because Galoob style is just like, you see the Cody they've released and you look at the old LJNs, you look at Galoobs, the biggest flaw in those figures is that they don't move.
Yeah.
So, as an adult collector and you want to get your figure out, you want to position it somehow. Well, this one's rubbish the way that this one does. But you can't have a figure that is just like one pose because it's just boring. And even as a kid, you can't really play with it like that. So, and kids these days, they can't play with anything. So, definitely Hasbro Retro.
I wouldn't want AEW to go down the Hasbro road because Mattel are doing that, right? And I just think that'll be a complete, you got the Heels and Faces, you got Chella Toys. Is there anyone else doing Hasbro type figures? But I feel like there's enough out there in the market, and they're all, I wouldn't say they're competing against one another, but they're done. So I think AEW are on a winner here because they're they're innovative. They're doing new things. And I think they just need more stocks and more talent to keep growing that fan base, right?